towards that Transcendence, and you have XQC with his ultimate. So once you see the fight start, that Orisa ult's going to be huge as Mangachu gets one. Trying to just locate Snillo here. He's going to force him to recall it. You see Agilities getting back with it. He's going to recall right into the trap. Now it's going to be the tire coming out from Mangachu again.
Try some parkour here as well. The walls, that's a beautiful Riptire. Is ever saying chips? They thought they were safe for the backline, but you can't run, you can't hide. It's Mangachu's wild ride.
He is so sick on the heroes. They'll have their attack visor. We can take a look. The attack visor from TviQ gets up to the high ground, gets behind enemy lines, has free reign on the players of Canada.
What do you do? That shield, I mean,
Nothing
it's not,
you can do.
It's unidirectional. That's the thing. It's not a Winston bubble. So Orisa's shield only gives you protection, obviously, from that side. Even the wireframe off towards the right-hand side. He dealt with TviQ, and looks like he's happy enough with just the one kill. Agilities is feeling it, and so are we. The hook doesn't quite connect, but he's a big presence on the point. Big, meaty presence, in fact. Doesn't want to go for the heal just yet. Now the self-destruct placed down in front of him. The res is coming through thick and fast. Joemeister manages to get up his support and his Junkrat player, but Agilities has got so much space to do work here. If you leave him unchecked, he's going to tear you to shreds. And now we're going to be in overtime here. Sweden nowhere to be seen over on the point here in Canada. Plant the flag. The Maple Leafs start strong. Surefour, but there's a lot of shielding in his way. He's going to try and break Swoosh's barrier, but it's still being held up. The Hulk used to bring everyone together, but Surefour gets very little for that ultimate. He's getting harassed from the side. All supports, watch out! But no, the Riptide goes down in mid-air. TviQ hit it with a remote mine. That's some classy stuff.
And Mangachu just able to their support ults. The same with Canada. If you're Canada, you just have to make sure Joemeister does not get caught in this grab. He can come back, land a res. There is the grab, and it's a beautiful one.
It's going to be the pulse bomb as well. Stillo manages to connect it. There's no Diva present on the Canadian roster, so Maniton can feel confident by shooting a Graviton Surge downrange from long distance. He doesn't have to put himself in harm's way to do that anymore, and it's worked out beautifully. Zeversai helping with the cleanup in that fight, but the pulse bomb from Snillo was a nice touch.
Yeah,
worked out a treat. Let's see how it all went down. Look at him sitting in the back, has good positioning. Going to try and shut down the Earth Shatter as it comes in. The barrier is taken down. When Swoosh decided to try and follow up on his own Earth Shatter, he dropped the protective zone for his team, opens him up to that Deadeye. Very much trying to go around the garden path, as it were. He found Joemeister, that'll do it. Especially when Chip's getting the res on TviQ just after he dies. Snillo actually challenged down Surefour off camera, manages to find that McCree. It's a dangerous task for a Tracer, but it worked out. Zeversai still taken down, but Canada running out of numbers here. It's Snillo to find Mangachu, and they get across the line. It's 11 seconds on the clock, and not exactly the most level of threat. He's also found XQC off camera, and there wasn't a resurrect available for Joemeister, so that puts Canada at 5 on the attack.
And we'll see how long Canada sticks with this. Maybe
no, don't go in there!
Oh, that hurts! That's like the worst spot you could have gone there.
What up now, Swede? Mangachu kick it off! Thanks Jaguar for that line, but it's so true! It's a palm to the face, he doesn't even need the close fifth! Oh, one on a Dragon Strike as well! Zoning off the point, he's going to give Canada a lot of room to move now, and he has shattered the Swedish defense into smithereens!
Run, Chips! All right, Chips got out alive. Everybody else fell, though. Mangachu with some...
looking for more, and the crowd is getting behind it. Canada are feeling it, so is everybody else.
Oh, goodbye!
Oh, it's getting real now. It's getting real. One player on the side of Canada was felled by that one, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. Graviton comes in, the bomb, good response. There was a Transcendence in plate from Roof, and the only way to deal with that healing per second is to stick some burst damage on the top.
And now I wonder if we see Canada make some changes. You know, they made a lot of good progress with this comp, and now you're going to see Mangachu. It looked like he was going to switch over to the Pharah, but we're going to have an interesting change. So Mangachu will now go over to Roadhog, and you'll have Agilities playing Genji here for Canada. So we know what we've seen Agilities in the past do on Genji, as I say that.
Get the damage down. It's a replay. Here's what Snillo did. He got res just for this particular play. And again, the Graviton and the Pulse Bomb combo. Hard to see. A lot of things going on. But Snillo still makes it for 3.
It's a lot of ults invested by Sweden, but Canada as well. TviQ to the point. He's trying to find something with his tack visor. It's going to force the Transcendence out.
Yeah, he's forced to back away behind the bell there. He probably could have even gone for the 1v1 on towards TviQ because there was a Discord orb, but then we saw the Valkyrie come out a little bit hard. Chips was got a good healing, but Rolf has gotten so many kills so far in this round. This is insane. 5 final blows for Rolf. 8 eliminations. He wants to be there, unfettered while the rest of his team goes up. TviQ doesn't want to give him free reign there because he knows that tactical visor from Surefour, that off ankle, is going to be absolutely devastating. So Surefour's waiting to try and get rid of it, but he's not going to get out. Snillo knows exactly who he needs to pulse bomb. That's the second consecutive pulse bomb that claims a life from Surefour, and here's the Dragon Blade, just for the finishing touches.
And XQC is going to use his Primal Rage. You're going to see the Primal Rage come out from Swoosh as well. XQC jumps off the side there. nothing he can do. Now Canada, they have a better chance coming back in the next one. Surefour using the attack visor here is now it's Canada fighting back. XQC takes out TviQ. Surefour is going to take out Zebosai.
Here's a chance.
And here's a chance for Canada. Chips off the spawns, going to have the Valkyrie. Let's see how they play this.
Second tick pretty close now as well. TviQ's going to go for the Dragon Blade. That's a ballsy play for him. He's going to go on the high ground. He still finds Surefour despite the presence of Joemeister, who bursts through the healing. But Joe gets the res. TviQ now is going to get back up on his feet. Zebosai switching towards the Widowmaker. The very short-lived etude. He's going to be taken down. Another res again from Chips to bring him back up. Primal Rage from Swoosh controlling space. Chips on the high ground, but Surefour is back and he's here to do some damage. But no, the Winston's in his way. The Primal Rage knocks him back on towards his lower ground, and he's not done there. Swoosh identifies uses that key cooldown, and now another big cooldown. The Transcendence must be drawn out from Sweden. And despite this, Snillo is still felled. Surefour is more than happy to take the Tracer 1v1. And the young gun from Sweden must bow, he must submit. And now Joemeister trying to res, but there's been quite a lot of damage done. He can't get Agilities back on his feet, and now the whole hog claims that mercy. It's a messy fight, there's no doubt about it. You can see that Chips and Manhattan have essentially swapped places here with Canada, trying to get Surefour. One more shot will get it, and Manhattan connects with a scrap gun, but it's not enough to be going on with. It's not enough for Sweden to build that momentum. Right now, they need to content themselves with building ultimate percentage, getting ready for another big fight.
There's a pass Zebosai. Check it out here on instant replay. You see Chips there, he gets low. XQC forces him into the corner, then knocks back the attack visor from Zebosai. It's a beautiful use of Primal Rage.
Absolutely, of course, just the extra finishing touches on towards Swoosh there, but that was the Rock'em Sock'em Derby if I've ever seen it. You could smell the cheese, he was hunting for it.
Agility is going to pop the Dragon Blade here. Yet again, though, Canada is still in this fight. Agilities with 2, Mangachu with 1. Agility is going to cut down to TviQ. It's the Primal Rage plus the Dragon Blade keeps Canada in it. They unlock point B. With Transcendence, most likely, you're going to get close to a Primal Rage. You're going to have self-destruct, and you're going to have the Blade, and here it comes.
It's going to come in. I don't know what Sweden have done, but Agilities are trying to put him under house arrest. They're going to be able to get out of their spawn at least and back onto the payload, but the Transcendence is there. So even if Sweden are present, the damage is just not going to stick for the time being. Swoosh is res back up, but Surefour and Agilities have found their targets. Manhattan does get desuited. Defense Matrix not available. Micro Rockets aren't there either. Still trying to dash around the point, and Swoosh is desperately flailing with the flying fists of fury, but it's not going to be enough.
Mangachu putting the pressure on him. Agilities uses the blade, cuts down 2. Canada needed to invest resources in it to keep this one alive. Coming into the next fight in Sweden, they'll have their Dragon Blade, they'll have their Pulse Bomb. No support ults on the side for Canada left.
There's such a sense of certainty about Agilities hitting these big quite connect, but still manages to make that fight work in his favor. Good Transcendence, most importantly, to help them clean up safely. What we missed was just a little bit of back and forth stuff. Canada have lost Rolf here, not res. Joemeister's now fallen down. Here's the opportunity Sweden have been looking for.
He's going to go over to the 76. Here comes the Blade coming out from Agility. Slices through 1, has TviQ run, and he can't hide. Slices through his second. 2 kills there for Agilities. It's going to force Manhattan off the side of the map. As Canada does use their Valkyrie, they do use their Transcendence there. They did use a decent from Agilities yet again.
As sure as the sun rises and sets each day, in Sweden, of course, at very different times, sometimes very briefly, Agilities finds himself a huge amount of kills in that Dragon Blade. You can really count on this man to shine when it really matters. So good at identifying opportunities to make the side. No, actually took him down with a boot kill. He does get res though, so lucky he wasn't killed environmentally. Dragon Blade from Agilities, 1 and 2, looking for more, and he's found it. Manhattan goes down. That's the 3rd for Agilities once again. With the abilities, keeping Canada up alive in this particular round. They can take it from here. I've seen crazier things, Matt.
Will be the point going over to Canada.
German wants them to create to try and deal with Agilities, and the hit scan pressure seems to work out. Agilities actually kills himself there. The rocket explodes back in his face, but the backfiring ends there. The rest of the job for Canada seems to be done well. It's an artisan's tapestry. Now the last few strokes are being applied. Surefour making sure he rubs it in. And Sweden know who Daddy really is.
Canada used their Valkyrie though. You'll have a Transcendence for Sweden.
Chance, Saloon for Sweden to come back. Canada are so close, it's 99%. But you know, it's going to be Zebosai getting rezzed up, but Surefour found the pick. Oh! Zebosai gets rezzed only to die again. Great pulse from Surefour. He stays alive. TviQ manages to get rid of Agilities, but it's going to take more than that. Snillo is out of the picture. Manhattan gets desuited and taken out. Overtime is ticking down. Sweden, where are they? They're trying to jump on towards the point. They're rushing in, but Canada, they put the flag in the ground. The North belongs to the Maple Leaves.
Mercy hurt, Mercy 1, Mercy dead.
Soldier! What's rest? Okay. It's just Tracer dead. Let's go! One more round! One more round! Come on, just It's just
Agilities.
He's inside!
Because there were some crazy moments in that game.
I mean, there were different brilliance of moments coming out from everyone on the side of Team Canada. We saw Joemeister being able to play a lot better because he had the support from the rest of his team, Agilities in particular with that Roadhog early on, and then later it became the Agilities and Surefour show.
I think what was very interesting to me was for Canada, the tank gameplay wasn't actually as lopsided as you might have thought, where you take a look at how Canada play with that. XQC had moments of pure dominance, particularly on Gibraltar, but what strikes out to me is how Sweden struggled to dominate with Swoosh and Manitin, where Swoosh oftentimes was a little bit far out, got picked off quite heavily, and then you had Manitin, where Manitin